So, do you want me to? Would you like to walk through your starting itemization while you got this, and try to justify yourself?
Well, the reason why I got the Ring of Protection is because I'm in a double ranged lane, so I'm expecting to get double harass as long as Enigma doesn't just go to the jungle, which many Enigmas do when they feel like they are not useful in the lane. They're gonna right click me either with his like small things and Wind Rager with her obviously right click. So I'm going to take a lot of physical damage harass. So it's just, and I'm a two armor hero, so a ring of protection is useful, and eventually it's gonna build into like a buckler and assault cuirass, so it's useful. Salve is because it's a pub and I'm not gonna get salved by my supports, and four tangos is because why not? Regen is always good.
Actually, great. It was amazing because I would have done the exact same thing. Okay, so you nailed it. Yeah, so that's perfect. I have nothing. So usually, when I ask questions about the starting itemization to my students, we have a lot of issues. Okay, no matter your MMR, I have a
Yep.
lot of issues with their starting itemization. But this is actually exactly what I would have done. I mean, you did perfect. You analyzed how they're going to be two double range, and I'm going to get harassed. That's why my armor becomes more valuable. So I'm going to get it. I want to carry sufficient amount of vision. Everything makes sense here, right? So
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
it. So let's keep watching. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because there really isn't anything to say. Okay. Free bounty run. He's going a little crazy, but yeah, you don't care about him.
I mean, I can't change his behavior.
Okay, nice. Okay, so it's gonna be Enigma plus Wind Ranger.
Yep.
All right.
I got very lucky with the first wave. I got like four last hits, I believe. But then it went south really fast. I mean, I still won the lane, but the last hitting wasn't particularly nice.
Yeah, those. But here's a small thing that I would.
Hmm.
Yeah, I cast stun on Wind Ranger. Why? If I were you, I would do it.
So, why can't I stun her? So, what's the question?
No, no. I mean, my question was like, if I were you, without
Yeah,
even thinking, right? Without even thinking, I just stun Wind Ranger. I would just do it.
really?
Yeah. And why? If I have to ask you why that would be the right call, then
I believe because I want to make her lane as unpleasant before she gets to level 2 because she has like wind run. And after she gets to level 2, I won't have as many opportunities to harass her. And there is an Enigma isn't on lane. So it's 1-on-2 situation. She doesn't have her saving ability. And we will be able to harass her here.
okay. What is Grimstroke level one skill? If I have to ask you, what is his level one skill?
Inkswell, wasn't it?
Oh, so you saw
Oh,
it.
so it's so I'll stun her, and the Grimstroke will be able to stun Winter. Oh, I see. So it's like a double stun then.
Yeah, I mean, you were aware of this guy's level one skill, right? You were aware of it, like you saw him using it.
Yeah.
So it's all about the information. And plus another thing, what is Wind Ranger's starting item? Do we have any information?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So actually, I don't know because this is your perspective, right? This is your player perspective, and when the lane just started, what you should have done is, yeah, you did really well in last inning and all, but this is exactly where I would do this, right? I just
Oh.
clicked her, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a lot of information, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
A lot of information,
Okay.
a lot of information. Trust me, because it matters, right? It really matters. Let's say Wind Ranger has, I don't know, let's say she has a brown boots, right? I mean, I guess she wants to kite us, right? Then it just naturally gives me less incentive to play aggressive on her to make some kill or anything happen, right? Because she's gonna juke me and we can't just outrun her. So
Uh-huh.
all that information, I don't know. We can be crazy, right? But it's just a habit. You just have to do this. Like every game, just click on everything, right? I don't expect
Hmm.
you to click like be crazy and click everyone. Of course, at some point you're gonna have to do that, but right now we have to focus on what's in front of us, and that is checking Wind Ranger's item, checking Enigma's item, because based on that we can plan our next move. Let's say Wind Ranger has no regen, right? Let's say she
Hmm.
was playing really greedy and starting something like no talisman and something like Iron Branch, right? And then
Hmm.
that just gives us the information that she has no regeneration. Then I just go full ham, right? Every time
Hmm.
I gain in the cast range of my stun, I just do it, right? And she takes damage, and that's gonna be a lot of pressure on her. So it's a small thing, but trust me, this
Uh-huh.
changes everything. Like if you are
Uh-huh.
constantly doing this in your game, it really changes everything.
Yeah, yeah, because she's like, if she doesn't have like a lot of region, I could just freaking go ham on her and
Yeah,
she will be smoothed out and I will get all the denies on the last hits. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, and the beauty of that is it really helps you make that decision to go ham on her. So instead of just autopiloting it, autopilot everything like, okay, I go ham because I want to. We're actually now making conscious decision based on the information, which is our itemization, right? So this is something
Hmm.
that 3K players rarely do. They, from my experience of coaching 3K players, their mechanics are as good as 4K, but they just autopilot way too much because they just
Hmm.
play the game without thinking. And this is exactly one of the small examples where you just play the game without thinking, right? You don't care
Hmm.
about the
Hmm.
information that can be gained otherwise, right? So you're not doing this. So
Hmm.
another thing that I would so as you're watching the replay, this is how you analyze. This is how I want you to analyze it. Be a little crazy, okay? Because the way I see the situation that I thought this was the right call to stun her is if you stun her, she may be in danger of getting harassed to the maximum, right? Like he's gonna cast stun, and you guys right click, she may even die. But if he cast stun, then she cannot loss at this. Like you're gonna deny this, and then you can
Oh,
also get the loss of this. So in from her perspective, she's gonna lose the lost it, and the range script is gonna get denied. So
oh
yeah,
yeah, that's definitely
yeah,
true.
that gives you an option. If you stun her, you can choose to go ham on her, or you can just stay here and deny and loss it. You can do both, right? So
Uh-huh.
never underestimate these small things because this is literally the only difference between you and me. If I was playing the Wraith King, I would pay attention. I would pay a lot of attention to these things, whereas 3K players, I think they care, but I guarantee they don't care as much as I do, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's all about changing your habit. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
and
about.
also I think the reason why you're right is because I'm full mana, and every second that I stay full mana, I effectively
Yeah.
lose like 1 mana point or something,
I
or
mean, yeah, we
zero
yeah.
point 0.9 mana points. So it's also correct in
Mm.
this decision.
Yeah, you can spam your stun 3 times, right, with this mana and with this mana
Yeah,
pool. So I mean, and you can even we can even ferry some mango later, right? So
yeah.
just use every resource we got. So it really makes sense to me that we'll just go stun on her. So the reason I at the beginning when I told you about in this picture I just stun her right away, I just know that, right? Even without checking Wind Ranger's level 1 skill or even without checking her inventory, I just know it because I've been studying
Hmm.
this case over and over that this is in my muscle memory. I know that this is the right call, right? So
Hmm.
you want to get there. You want to have that muscle memory. You want to have that autopilot. And you will get there by just watching this kind of replay over and over and just reminding
Hmm.
yourself, keep reminding yourself that this is the right call, that right? Then eventually in your next game, you'll find yourself doing it right away. And that's, I believe, another way of getting better at Dota. You have a better autopilot just built in yourself, right? So,
Hmm.
so I guess this is the reason that I'm talking a lot about this because it's important. It's all
Yeah.
about like paying attention to your habit and because now she's walking free, but if we look at her perspective, she would have really died because she doesn't have wind run at level 1. She's so dumb
Hmm.
that she got a shackle shot. So if you guys stunned her and double stun followed by grimstroke, she dies. I guarantee she dies. She has no fairy
Uh-huh.
fire, she has no brown boots, and look at her, she has 2 ammo. 2 ammo, 290 movement speed. And even Grimstroke just right clicking twice and look at her HP. She already lost like 20%, right? So imagine there's a stun and your stun also does damage. She dies. Trust me, she really
Uh-huh.
dies if you guys do everything
Uh-huh.
correct. So yeah,
Oh yeah, that was a misplay. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I'm gonna say. And as far as the lane equilibrium, it really is whatever, right? Like there's an Enigma who's gonna keep denying everything, right? So you just gotta have to play through. So I won't commentate much more on like lane equilibrium for this game because it's hard. It's always hard versus Enigma. So
Yeah, because he can eat like your creeps and
yeah,
get screwed up.
so it's whatever. This is just bound to happen. So Yeah, good job. Yeah, exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Was it too early? I think it was too early. Oh, okay, you got it.
uh,
Nice.
I got lucky.
So judging by, we're gonna let this play through. Judging by the pace of the game right now, right? As we are watching the replay, or if you can remember when you were playing this game, what should be my first itemization? Like, what should be my first item, like right now?
So I don't think there was a need to get a stick because they didn't really spam abilities. So I got a Glove of Haste because the wave is often going to be under my tower, and I would like to get attack speed, so I would get these tricky last hits under the tower. That was the logic that I followed. So, do you think it's sound?
Yeah. So yeah, again, as long as you have something in your mind and something to defend yourself, I think I'm okay with that, right? I think you're doing fine.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of different ways to play Wraith King. A lot of different ways. So if I have to go ask you further, what are you thinking about your itemization, like in minute 20, in minute 30? How do I win this
So,
game, right?
yeah, yes. So, so you're thinking about the kind of items that I want to get on the
Yeah,
Wraith King.
yeah, just like for this
So,
game.
so I see that they have a carry who can out carry me, and so if I see that he like lost the lane, I won the lane, I'm obviously going gradients. But if I lost the lane and he won the lane, then I would like to play in a temple, get something like an armlet, and then I see how mobile are the hero are and how do they have any AoE abilities that they can use. So I die, right, and I have a blink dagger on me. Can I use it to save in case they don't have any AoE abilities? And then I go blink dagger. If I can't, I just get like a silver edge in order to increase my like attack speed stats. And then I see, do I need to rush a BKB or can I just get an assault cuirass? Or maybe I need a solo kill item like a freaking Bloodthorn or Abyssal Blade. But in this particular game, I think I was justified in going Radiance because AM's lane wasn't going too well, and a Blink Dagger because they have a anti mage and a Wind Ranger, two very mobile heroes, and they have a Zeus, and I need to get to the back lane to kill Zeus before he kills my entire team.
Okay,
So
that's
I would.
the okay. Yep. That's very interesting. Okay, that's very
Mhm.
interesting. And I'm gonna just let this play through because we're gonna have to talk about that what you just talked about, right? Because yeah, you this at this well even not right now, even at the very beginning of the game, like we should be constantly thinking about what items do we get to win and how do we win, right? And that's exactly what you just did. Like you were analyzing how there's anti-mage and if he does that I do this. Like all that is really good, right? But
Mhm.
um if I have to say like right now to give you like a conclusion, I have to disagree with your itemization and
Uh-huh.
how you
Uh-huh.
approach things because I think while I can respect your playstyle, because if that's your playstyle, you should definitely do it, and it is your job to
Uh-huh.
prove yourself, right? But I
Yeah.
think there's a better way of looking at it,
What
and
do you think
yeah.
would be the better
So
way?
let me first start with your radiance, right? The reason
Uh-huh.
that I think this game is not a radiance game,
Hmm.
there are a few reasons, but the first thing that just comes up to my mind is the shadow demon, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you get a radiance, he creates an illusion of yours who has a
Oh.
radiance, then that's a thing, right? That's
Oh
something to
yeah.
yeah, that's something to care about. Let me actually volume this down.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely
Yeah, that's
true.
something to think about. Never underestimate this his ability to create your illusion. And like, if he gets a Radiance Wraith King, that's a pain in the ass for your team, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So
I didn't think of this.
another reason that I think Radiance is kind of main item is there's this better item. Like if you are ever talking about the matchup anti-mage versus Wraith King, yeah, you understand that he counters you, right? And
Yeah, in every stage of the game, pretty much.
and that is because he can always just blink on you, he pops a manta style, sep all your mana, and like you can't use your ultimate and you die right away, right? That's how he counters you, basically, right? So,
Yep.
but that can be undone when when the Wraith King hits level. If I have to ask you, when he hits level,
20.
then what happens at 20?
Then I have a very nice talent which gives me no reincarnation mana cost. But at
Yep.
that point, AM probably has outfound me. So, but I didn't feel like he outfound me in this particular game. But usually, under like a usual game where you both went even in lanes at level 20, AM is stronger than Wraith King anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You have a point. Yeah. Sure. But all I'm saying was like that counter that we just talked about, that he counters me because he saps all of my mana, can be undone by just hitting level 20, right? So
Yeah.
you're actually right. Like if we get a radiance and we just farm faster, right? And then the definition of farming faster means we gain level faster. We will hit level 20 faster, right? So that
Yeah.
makes sense. But thing about the radiance is it really really slows you down, right? It just
Hmm.
slows you down. Like you're saying, even after I get the radiance, I don't power strike. I do not power spike as much as I do as when I'm playing something like Spectre, right? Imagine you're a
Hmm.
Spectre, you get the radiance, and you do have a huge power spike because you can farm, but also your ultimate just synergizes really well with ultimate, right? With the radiance, you just use ultimate, and Spectre has a radiance, and everybody dies, right? So Spectre has a
Hmm.
huge power spike when he gets a radiance. But thing about the radiance and Wraithing is, yeah, I guess I get it, it's good, but it's not as good as like Spectre I mentioned. But another thing is, you cannot fight Oli. That's my point. You cannot fight Oli if you get a radiance. You're basically saying, I'm just gonna sit in whatever I have in the beginning, like a power chest, or I don't know what you're getting, or maybe you can get an omelet if you care about your mid game. But you just can't put up the team fights even after you get the radiance. Like what changes, right? What's it really doesn't do much. Anti-Maze doesn't even take that much damage from your magical damage. Radiance is magical, so he doesn't care about it.
Hmm.
Wind Dirger can just kite you down, right? And then, like I said, Shadow Demon, like you can create illusions. And do you really think we can really close the gap between Zeus when Zeus is just a backline support with the Radiance? I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't think that's gonna happen. Everyone is mobile. Everyone is a back support. So it really is not happening. All I'm saying here is like when they have an anti mage, I know what this guy does. Like he needs to farm the battle fury, and even after that, he still needs to farm more to get a manta style. That is his first power spike, right? And that
Hmm.
is his weakness. He needs those times to farm. Whereas if you're Red King, you can build up really anything, but not Radiance, to fight
Hmm.
Oli, right? Like Omelet is one of them. Dazzle is one of them. It can really be anything. The Blink Dagger can be one of them. The Shadow Blade can be one of them. And Shadow Blade is actually beautiful this game because it can be upgraded into Silver Edge. And now that the build up is nice, like there's an Echo Saber build up, right?
Hmm.
If you get a Silver Edge, then that's a threat to anti-mage, right? You can really disable his passive, then he dies to everything, right? So that's one thing to think about. Whenever there's an anti-mage, you want to build up yourself to fight Oli, not, you know, you already know that you cannot outfarm him and you still get a radiance. So that's to me was a little bit counterintuitive. So are you
Hmm.
following me here, or do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just yeah, but the I guess I checked like the scoreboard once, and I was like, "Oh, AM does bad." He was like 0-2 or something. I'm getting radiance, but I think that once you put it this way, I think I should have still gotten like omelet and
Hmm.
silver edge instead.
Um. So if I'm not getting radiance, but I still want to get levels and I still want to get a decent amount of farm, then there's also an item called
Midas.
exactly. Yeah, this is a perfect Midas game, right? If you think about it, if you really think
Uh,
about it.
but I mean, I come from an environment where I was flamed a lot for getting Midas and Wraith King. So, but
What? Oh, okay. Okay.
I guess it's not that bad, I suppose.
Um, okay. Here's why I think Midas is a perfect item, right? So
Hmm.
first off, like we discussed before, this is the game that we badly wants to hit level 20 as fast as possible, right? Because
Uh-huh.
like
For level
because
20 talent,
yeah,
mana burn.
yeah, and because they have an anti-mage, right? Because they have an anti-mage. I mean, trust me, there are even cases where I wouldn't even go for the Manacle's talent. Like I would even go for Skelly spawned at level 20, because that's when I feel like the enemy team has no form of like like mana burn, then I don't go for the reincarnation mana cost talent. I don't need it, right? But this is the game
Uh-huh.
that I must take it. I have no choice. I have to take it because they have an anti-mage. So that just gives me a lot of incentive to be level 20 as fast as possible. And Midas is one of them. Midas really does its job. And I don't understand why some people are flaming you for getting Midas, but
Uh-huh.
Midas is actually really good this meta. Like it's one of the items that almost everyone wants to get, right? If you've
Uh-huh.
been paying attention to the, I don't know, pro games or high level pub games, everybody gets Midas when they have a good lane. So
Uh-huh. Okay. I
yeah,
see. Okay.
if you're not convinced of getting Midas, that's fine, right? That is fine. But all
No,
I'm
I
s-
see the logic. I see
mm,
that there are good reasons for getting.
mm. So try that. Really, try that yourself in your next game, and tell me if you feel any difference. It's
Okay.
yeah, it really is a perfect game because right now as we are watching this game, like you got chainmail, right?
Mm-hmm.
After Brown Boots and Glove of Haste. But thing is, I would just leave it as Glove of Haste and then upgrade this into Midas right away. Like judging by the pace of the game right now, because they weren't the enemy team was not really pressuring you guys as much as it should be. Like you were more or less having a free lane. Like look at your level, right? Look at your last set. Like you're so healthy, you're farming really well. And
Mm-hmm.
then this chainmail is like what 550 gold. So if we minus that, then I think you just bought something. So you which in which you had like 600 gold before. So let me go check. Yeah, you have like 500 gold right here, right? So if we minus that, then you're almost now getting close to Midas. So imagine that. Like
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
everything's
that's
so
definitely
possible.
true.
Yeah, so I would imagine you can complete your Midas by like minute 8:30, and late before minute 9. If you were playing really greedy about it, because you thought you were gonna play greedy, then we don't even need to get a magic stick, right? We really didn't need to get a magic stick right away. So if you didn't get a magic stick, then that's another 200 gold or 150 gold. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah,
yeah.
I see.
So you can get Midas right away. If then that's you getting after Brambus. It was Brambus and Midas by minute 8. Like that's fantastic timing. That really is a fantastic timing, and you will have a huge power spike. And trust me, if you get Midas by like minute 7, minute 8 as a Wraith King, you actually outfarm anti-mage. By definition, when I say outfarm, it doesn't mean you will have the level advantage, but all I'm saying here is like if anti-mage has as much farm as you are, that's how you are outfarming him. Because by nature, anti-mage should be like, oh, leveling you by 5. He should be the one who must be 6 slotted before you get 6 slotted. But if you get a Midas at this decent timing, you're more or less farming anti-mage, whatever he does. Like you guys are gonna be almost at the same level. When he gets 3 items, you'll have like 2.5, and that is really you are farming him because that really shouldn't happen to anti-mage, right? So yeah,
Oh,
that is my
yeah, I
logic.
see.
That is my logic. Just because anti-mage is level 25 and you're like level 20, that doesn't mean he's farming you. That's not bad. Like anti-mage is actually that's how he should be played. He has to be level 25 before anyone else in the game. He should be 6 slotted before anyone else in the game. This guy is not a late game carry. Anti-Mage is not a late game carry. He is a guy who wins the game by being 6 slotted faster than anyone in the game, and then he finished the game, right? If he doesn't, then he becomes shit in the late game. So that's Anti-Mage. So your
Uh-huh.
job is to just to follow him, right? But not get beaten by a bear. So you don't want anti-mage to be level 25 and you level 15. You don't want that to happen, right? Well,
Uh-huh.
as long as you're keeping on track of him um, in the somewhat same level, you're doing totally fine. And to me, I can just take the measure of this game. If I get Midas at minute 7, minute 8, I guarantee you're just going to win the game. You'll have enough gold, enough level to buy whatever items you need, like you mentioned about. You even talked about getting Assault Cuirass, right? That's a fantastic
Yeah,
item for Wraith King. So
yeah.
there's a lot of ways, a lot of different ways to play. Imagine you're not getting a Radiance, but let's imagine you're getting a Shadow Blade, right? Your Shadow Blade is the first item after getting Midas. What does that change, if I have to ask you, if you get a Shadow Blade?
So I get an ability to position myself, an ability to catch like very mobile heroes, and I will not be kited as much.
Yep.
And I could initiate for my team and get early fights, which would enable me to establish map control and prevent the other team from fighting.
Exactly, and you can even with your Shadow Blade, you can invade into the enemy jungle, and that's a pressure to enemies, right? That's a pressure to literally everyone. Like everybody's jungling, right? And then if you imagine you get in Shadow Blade and just invade into them, and you can find a kill. You really can find a kill. You just became an initiator. You became a fighter who can be really threatening in the early game. So it just gives you more option. And then now that the enemy team sees you that you have a Shadow Blade, like they have to do something about it. They have to run away from you. They have to get away from the jungle camps, or they even have to buy a sentry. That's an economical damage to the enemy support. And if they buy a sentry, then what do I do? Then I just don't go there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can control the tempo of the game by doing that, right? And if you don't want to get a Shadow Blade because that is not your playstyle, then why not just get an Echo Saber, right? Why not just get Dazzle later right away, right? If you get a Dazzle later because your Monkey King is not getting it, so that's something that I would be paying attention to if I was playing Wraith King this game. I would pay attention to my Monkey King if he is getting Dazzle later or not. Because if he's getting Dazzle later, then I'll just get Assault Cuirass right away. Because that means our team has a Dazzle later plus AC. Like that's a huge power spike. We can just push tower like it's paper. We can kill Roshan in like 5 seconds, right? So
Yeah, and they have like four low armor heroes.
yeah,
I don't know about Enigma, but at least three or probably four.
actually every one of them has very low ammo. Every one of them has low ammo. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
everyone is intelligence, right? Shadow Demon intelligence, Wind Ranger intelligence, Zeus intelligence, Manigama intelligence, and teammates of course like his agility, but he doesn't. He needs level before he has that much of, and that's one way to kill anti-mates, right? We cannot kill anti-mates with the magic. We need to kill with him with the physical damage, right? So
Yeah.
this is a perfect game for you to consider about getting the dazzle later. So and like I said, things to pay attention before getting dazzle later would be paying attention to your allies, right? And then if someone gets dazzle later, then I don't get it, right? So that's what
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
done. And um, what else?